So there might be sections in here that I'm not going to go into because it's got student photos or names or things like that. This is my actual program that I use at my school, and I have access to every teacher's program in my school as an executive, and also as sometimes as relieving principal, which is why I can see them in there. So I'm not going to go into their programs per se. I'm going to show you the things that we do collaboratively, or the things that we do as a whole school that everyone in our school can see. So you can see we've got an introductory page down here and all this information. That's not really relevant to what we're doing today. The things that I'm going to show you today are the reasons we use this, because it saves on time. Hopefully after today you'll go back thinking, I've got the magic of time on my hands now after using this. So what we do in our programs, as an executive, we set up this program before the year even begins. So at the end of last year, our teachers had access to this so they could start utilising it, which was really good for some of our new teachers coming on board who hadn't used it before. So they could go home, watch some videos, play with it if they wanted to, make as many mistakes as they wanted to, and then come back ready for the beginning of the year. So in here, executives, we put all of our pertinent information that every single teacher needs. They do not have to go onto our school faculty drive and find every document that they need to have to put into their program. It's already there for them. So important information like our school details, our staff list, our school map. So this is good for our new teachers. They already know where everything is once exec have had the time to sit down and do it. Playground duty information. So there's our playground duty map. We insert the school plan for everyone to see, because there's always that teacher that goes, I need to know what's in the school plan. There it is, you don't need to worry about it. I won't show you this one, but you can see there I've got the student leadership team, the houses that everyone's in. I'm always that teacher that forgets which colour house I'm in because I'm usually on exec duty, so I have to go to this and figure out what colour to wear when it comes to the athletics carnival. We have our school expectations, then there's class lists, Vietnamese class lists, and then we've got different roles and responsibilities. So on day one, when we have our staff development day and we say, who wants to be the Fed rep? This is where we record it in here. It's automatic on there. We don't have to worry about doing it again. We also have on here the permission to publish. I'm not going to tap on that because it's got kids' names, but that's where I store all of the student names who don't have permission to publish. So any teacher that's running choir who may not know which ones are which, or they're not in their class, that's not information they have readily available. They just go onto that list and go, I can't put up a photo of that kid because they don't have permission to publish. Assembly organisation, you get the idea. This is stuff that all the teachers need to have in terms of organisation for the year. We put all of our timetables on here throughout the term, so you can see term 1, term 2. Every time we update the timetable, we just say it's been updated on OneNote. You can go look at it. No more printing hundreds of different timetables to be put into teachers' pigeonholes so they can stick it up in the classroom. They can print it as they need to. And other timetables as well that go on with that. This section here, I won't show again, sorry, but that's the PLPs. So as Aboriginal Education Coordinator at my school, all the PLPs need to be readily available to me, to the Aboriginal Education Officer, but of course also to any of those teachers working with those kids. Those kids don't just have goals in their classroom, they might have goals in the choir, or in the dance group, or in a sports group as well. So those teachers have access to those plans and the goals that the students have set as well. WHS, this is always a fun one. So we've got signatures and things related to WHS. If you follow me at all on social media, you see we've got a farm now with alpacas, so we need to have signatures to sign off about working with animals. Extracurricular groups, here's our timetable. I know when every group is organising. I don't have to worry about sticking that up in the staff room somewhere and wasting a sign. It's on there for people to look at. On here, we have the content library. So this is where we put all of those policies and procedures that people need to have accessible at any time. School procedures and then pertinent departmental procedures. So I'm Department of Education, so I'm putting Department of Education stuff on there. There's a lot of teachers out there that are coming out brand new that have no idea that we're meant to be following those policies and procedures or where to find them. And if you've ever been through our intranet, it's not the friendliest place to look through, so Google's usually your response. So we put those in here as well. So here's the doughy ones. That's the mandatory training guide, so they know exactly what they need to be trained in and where they can access it. It's got all the links. This is the school fact sheet, talks about RFF, your hours, your entitlements, the values, code of conduct, the behaviour code, excursion policy. These are things that teachers need to have access to easily. We're saving them the time of searching for it by having it in there, and all we do is we just go through what's in there. We have our own report writing guide. So who's writing reports at the moment? It's fun. This means now there's consistency for all teachers across the entire school about report expectations with examples on there. We even have slides in there of example comments and language that we use in there, things that are expected to be in those reports. And this is a presentation we did staff. They liked the slides, so we put it on OneNote so they've all got it for future reference. So this is where we're cutting down all of that time, all the time to find the resources, to collect the resources, printing out things, it's all there ready to go. In PDPs, I love this section myself because there's a lot of misunderstanding about what goes on in your PDPs, what the expectations and rules are. They're very clear, there's documents about it, and after having a lot of staff ask me, where do I find this information, I went, I'm going to make that a tab now in OneNote. It's all in OneNote. My go-to phrase now is, have you checked OneNote yet? Because it's all in there usually. The learning support team is a big one as well. So in here, whoa, I won't do that one. This is our referral form, so I don't have to have these printed out and in a folder anywhere. They can just print it out, they can save it digitally, type it, and then it's stored for their records as well. No worrying about scanning to put it in there. Every year we need to update our consent to release information, especially if you've changed your school counsellor, so it's always updated. Last year there's a different one, pretty much was the same except the year from 2018 to 2019. Permission to work with a counsellor. An IEP template, and below it you'll see there's a sample, so that's an example of a student we have at the school. A behaviour plan template, again a sample. There's an adjustment checklist in there, so people can run that off and use that in their program as well. And then we're sharing resources down here. So you can share pictures, you can share Word documents, you can share editable documents as well. So I've got visual prompts. These all come from the learning support team, the school counsellor, all these things that we know students in our school have identified their need for. As soon as we've identified that the student will benefit from it, we're putting it in there just in case other students will benefit from it as well. If someone's got a resource they think would be great from another school, may not have needed it yet, but it might be useful, we just put it in there as well for those students. So this is all kind of related to behaviour and sensory stuff. Got a work chart sample in there, so that's an editable one. They can open up, save as their own file, edit, and then go for gold in their class. Behaviour monitoring book, calm down centre. You can see all these different activities here, PEC samples. I love this option here because something went weird when I inserted it, so I just left a note saying open it to see it properly, and that works fine. And then we've got NCCD information there as well based on entering that information. The good thing that we've been using it for though is obviously collaborating with our teams. So if I go into our collaboration space, you'll see all these tabs across here so we can see information. At the moment, I supervise stage 3, so I'm just going to go into stage 3 and show you. This is organisation. If you've ever worked on stage 3, you know we have a lot of events going towards the end of the year, and I don't like to leave it to the last minute to do it. So at the beginning of the year, I say, right, who's doing the farewell, who's doing the camp, who's doing the fundraising, who's doing graduation, all of those things. So we sit down and organise those things, and then they just make notes as they go. So this is the Year 6 farewell. Someone's left a note saying the photo booth is booked. I put a note there for myself saying I need to book the DJ. Shannon's going to organise the cake. So we're in term 2, but this is getting ahead of ourselves so we don't have to chase our own tail at the end of the year. It also means me as an executive, I want to try and remember who's supposed to do what. I don't have to chase them and ask and look a bit feeble when I do it. I can just go in here and go, right, Dean, you were meant to do this. Can you go off and do that? Camp, all the organisation he's got on there. We've got 55 spots. That needs to be updated because it's not 55 spots available now. It's 5, unless he's typed that twice by accident. But now that means that the teachers can just jump in there as well and see what the most relevant information is instead of chasing Dean and annoying him and saying, can you check the notes and let me know how many spots are available. All these other things as well. Like, so the shirts were all done, so I just left him a "You're awesome" message. When the colour run was done, we just leave those notes as well. But across here you can see all those other things that we shared together. Information about split classes. So down the side here, we don't often have to do it, but in those occasions when we just cannot get a teacher and classes need to be split, they, in those tabs there, have the list of kids, what classes they will go to, and any possible work booklets they might need or information about that when they go. So no matter who is away at any time, any one of the executive can go into here, make sure that class is split into the classes that they're meant to go to, because we always know little Johnny works better with, you know, Miss Jones down the road, so we make sure he goes into the right class and they've got the right work. But because of the way we also structure this, we program collaboratively. I'm just going to jump into term 2 where we are. So these are our team meeting minutes. And then this is our programming here. So we program collaboratively together. We try and do it sort of a few weeks in advance at a time, just to make sure we're on top of current data with our kids. We sit down and we can all type on this at the one time. So this is a template that's within OneNote. We're not typing in Word and inserting it anymore because you can't work on a Word document collaboratively. We can do this in real time together there and get started. And as we go through this, you'll be able to see we focus on learning experiences. It's not necessarily Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's just that progression of what happens. So now let's say that class does need to be split. They're going into a classroom where it's been planned together by all of those teachers. They all know what the learning intentions and success criteria is. It's all mapped out, ready to go. Those kids don't need a split booklet. They're going to join in on the regular activity for the day. Consistency, routine, and that's what keeps our kids going. It means that when teachers copy this page into their own individual program, they need to make differentiation adjustments for their own students. So we're working towards those similar goals. It's the syllabus, it's content. We're all working towards similar goals, but we're going to differentiate for our own class. So in here, they've got that tab at the top here where they can put that for their own kids. So for example, one of our classes, we've got a sight impaired student. He might be using things that will dictate to him or be read aloud, or he'll use the magnifying glass to do that. That's the one thing that teacher would put in there to differentiate for that. And then we can use resources as well. So she's just dumped all these resources that we'll need for those days, and you can see who's doing what in that week. So what I do is, because I'm running the extension maths group for stage 3, I'm just going to jump this weekend. I'm going to look at what Fiona's programmed for this week. I'm going to look at their activities. They always go into class for the warm-up, and then I look at their activities here. I take that and then I create extension activities based on what they were meant to be doing in class at the time. So let's say the police have turned up at the school and I really can't get to class that day. I need to have a meeting. They're still going on with the same content, but if I can get to my group, I'm taking them and extending them from what they were doing anyway. It's not a huge disruption, and it's not an extra activity to what they were doing. So this is the great spot where we can do that. When I do things, I program it obviously, and my team has access to this because this is a collaboration space. It's not special or separate. Anyone can see it. So when they go into this section, they know what I'm teaching. So I've got Kindy for History RFF. Those teachers want to touch base with what I'm doing or any language that I'm using. They can go in and see my programming anytime. They don't have to ask me for it. It's an open book. I've put it in collaboration, and collaboration means anyone can see it. So that's my message to them. I've put it in collaboration, not my own program. You're free to look at it whenever you want. And that's the capacity that you have when you create these systems, is that you can control that. So teachers still have their own programs. They don't have to go into each other's programs and see what they're doing. I can see every teacher's program though, because I'm sometimes relieving principal and sometimes I need to touch base with everyone. So you can, I'm not going to give you the details on how to do that. That would take us a lot longer, but you can do that if you ever want to go into detail on those ones. Then I'm just going to go back, into this main section here. So this section here is another space where we get to just dump information pretty much. So this is before I reach, this is still in collaboration, but not just my stage. So you can see here we've got the different stages there that get supervised. We've got stuff that's whole school, and then we have our committees. The committee section has been really interesting because we are working with a gentleman called Peter Lee, who's helping us create scope and sequences in line with the new syllabus, in line with NESA requirements, because we realised that ours weren't up to par. So when he comes out to work with us, we're generating this onto a big screen into our staff room so he can see everything that's there. We have 2 or 3 people working with him at the time, and after we have some professional learning with him, he then sits there with us to help us create these scope and sequences. And because we've created those tabs in OneNote, again, it's a live document, it's a working document, you can have 3 people working on it at once. So someone was working on like weeks to 5 here, and then someone else was working on weeks 6 to 10, with Peter hovering around us, asking those questions like, is that the way that really needs to be worded? Are you sure that's the right content focus for that area? Being able to do that. No taking it away, no homework, no having to edit it and then submit it and then make those changes again. And then that meant as an executive supervisor, I could go in, touch base with where they were up to with Peter Lee, and just have any conversations that needed to be had about, oh, did you forget that excursion happens in semester 1 or something like that. But at the moment we had no issues. Once we sat down with Peter and typed, it was done. And now that that's there, those other staff members can come in, they can literally right click on this. It's not going to click for me, but you can right click on that and it will say, there we go, copy, and then they can paste that into their own program. So actually I can even show you that. If I go to a random section, my notebook, which I never use, go in here and I'll paste it, and there it is there. So I can use that in my own program now, done. So they don't have to retype anything. So I'll just go back out. There we go. So you can see it says Peter Lee there, that's science and technology. And then if I go to creative arts, that's one that I've been working on. So this is the stage 3 one. You can see similar template, so it's easy to read. We're keeping it consistent, but it's different outcomes. Now, we didn't go too far into depth with this because we know there's a new syllabus coming for creative arts, so we just focused on this year at the moment and where we're at. So similar kind of thing though, where we've got the content focus, got the outcomes, and then I've just put suggested units that they could use in there from the K to 6 units of work for the creative arts syllabus. And that's for the whole year in there. So again, those teachers just come in, right-click, copy, right-click, paste into their own program. In this other section that we've got too, for these committees that we have, for example, this is the Environment Committee. We've got our budget in there, so the principal can jump in and check where we're at with our budget anytime she wants to make sure we're on track. And if nothing's been recorded, she can come tap me on the shoulder and say, why hasn't your committee updated their information? Information about our projects. So the director comes in for a visit, but I'm not available to talk about this. My principal can just jump onto OneNote and say, this is what the committee is looking at the moment. This is the nature trail design they've come up with. Here are the donations they've already received from our local community. This is what they're getting from Bunnings. This is their wish list, all without needing to pull me off class and have that conversation. Information is already there, ready to go. So the teachers can take whatever they want and put it in their program. And the expectation of teachers is they still need to put those mandatory things that are required in their own program. So each teacher still needs to have timetables in their program so they can just copy and paste and put them in. So by doing this, we're literally saving just lots and lots of time, lots of legwork, and we have lots of feedback from teachers saying that it's just less stressful knowing everything's in there. They don't have to search around the school, they don't have to navigate the faculty drive, which, is down for a day or you can't access from home. This is a cloud service, so you can access this from any computer. I could jump onto any one of these, log on using my details, and I'll find my program there. And the good thing is too is that no matter whether I'm using online, Windows 10 or this one, it'll update straight away. If it's not doing it straight away, I just need to click refresh and it will do it itself. So that was very, very rushed. Hopefully that was informative and not too scary for you guys. If you're interested in any more information about this, please contact me. I'm on Twitter as Bec West 81. If you send me a PM, I always answer. And I have done videos on using OneNote, which is on my YouTube channel, Talk and Chalk. So if you want to sit down and watch the videos through that, I go through a bit slower than what I just did today and show different steps on there. And I've also got access to those templates that I showed you. So I haven't put all of them up there yet, but we have the ones that I've shared has been the maths template, the writing template, guided reading and health. We've recently created the HSIE, the creative arts, and the integrated template that I'll share soon enough. But if you contact me, I'll just email it to you, not a problem. I think that's it though. So thanks for coming today, guys. No one did this, so I'm assuming I kept my voice level okay. So thank you.